How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the channel. This is Big Day Dave, and this is a map tour for a new mod map to Farming Simulator 22 called Sumidouro Farm. We're going to start with the description from the mod hub, and it reads: Sumidouro Farm is a Brazilian map with relief and real PDA of the region of the municipality of Sumidouro, state of Mato Grosso. Map with 20 medium and large fields, all with missions. Added 3 new crops: rice, carico beans, and alfalfa. The machine workshop is located inside the small village city with a market that accepts different products. Fuel location is attached to the vehicle workshop. Grains in general can be sold in the 2 warehouses on the map. The supermarket accepts various products such as potatoes, beets, milk, and pallets. If you need limestone, take your trailer to the limestone cellar, and you can also sell stones there. Bales in general can be sold at the Salario. To sell milk, go to the supermarket or add a dairy to produce milk products. You start with 1 main headquarters containing sheds to store your machinery, as well as a house to sleep in, 1 silo to store grains, a chicken pasture, fuel tank, and a vehicle wash. The second farm has a small shed with some bags of food for the animals, a pasture for cows, 2 bunkers for silage, and a fuel tank. All lands on the map can be purchased. Objects present in the headquarters can be sold for customization. The map also has a sugarcane factory where you can sell sugarcane and buy venesi and felt cake. There is no snow on the map. The winter in this region is just cold and dry. Have fun. There are mods required for this map, starting with the small horse pasture by NoNiem, ESC large shed by LModding, BR small shed by MLmodding DHmodding, Brazilian cow barn by Lost Gamer DHmodding, bunker silo set by Razak, chicken barn large by Lost Gamer Virgimini modding and Grangerio, South Brazilian Warehouse by MLmodding DHmodding, Brazilian Fence Pack by Zero Ito, Pig Feed Buying Station by Grangerio, Virgimini modding, and Lost Gamer, Pigsty and Manure Heap by Grangerio and Virgimini modding, Lost Gamer, Southern Brazil Wood House by Gain FS, Confining Cows by Grangerio, Virgimini modding, and Lost Gamer, Small Farm Pack by Holtz FS, and Banana Tree by Namag Mod. This map was created by Andredi, MLmodding, Wesley Franco, Marcos Renegados, Moddi. Whew. And the map is 267.01 megabytes to download. And if we take a look at the map, this is what it looks like. We start out here in the northwest region. You start out by owning farmland number 19, which includes this little patch of field right here, which is a cornfield, and it is growing. And the kind of various bits that are broken up here, you have the kind of secondary farm, according to the description, right here. You have this kind of small storage area right across the street, kind of mixed in amongst the little village right here. And then your main starting farm right over here. Prices on the map do vary. Starting out up here, we do have a couple of grass fields for $100,000. But that's really kind of the starting point because, yeah, 200,000, 671,000, 1.09 million, 2 million, 700, like, it's expensive. Plain and simple is you're getting massive fields, but it looks like the smallest field that you have access to is the this one right here, and just a normal field at $262,000. And because your one field that you have is relatively small, it's going to take you a little while to get there. Now they do have this area here, which I'm going to point out is 3.8 million, but it's kind of the verges, the kind of periphery, the verges as Mr. CLP would refer to it, but this is like the periphery of the map, includes like the shop and all that. But there is this one strip right here where it's a field that is included in this. and it's just a very long strip of field. So we'll drive by it here and we'll show that off. But it's the first time I've ever seen a map where you get this periphery bit where it includes all the little outer bits, the sell points, things like that, but it actually also includes a field with it. So that was certainly new for me. Now, as you can see, we can buy all areas of the map, and we start out with several animal pens, including some animals. Contracts are available on this map. Because you have massive fields, you get massive payouts. $36,000 for one contract, one fertilizing contract. That's pretty good. Productions, you don't start out with any. And collectibles, there are collectibles, 20 to be precise. There are mods specific to this map. And if we take a look, nothing under the buy menu, but if we go under the build menu, starting with buildings, nothing under this whole tab, nothing under productions, nothing under animals, nothing under decorations, but we finally get to landscape. You'll see down here in painting, we do get several additional paint swatches, which is nice. Nothing under trees, but under plants you will see Sumidouro Farms, several plants that are available for you to plant. So that is nice. Now, we do start not technically on the starting farm, but we do have this one kind of barn right here that you start next to. So being that we're right next to this barn, I'm going to go ahead and say we're at the starting farm. It's just across the street. The secondary, the primary is down the road. So let's go ahead and go through the starting equipment. We take a look at the buy menu under owned items. Small tractors, we have a New Holland T6 175 and a Massey Ferguson 3709 AL. Cars, we have a pickup 2017 and a John Deere XUV 865M. Trailers, we have two Branther DDs 224073 2XXLs. Under planters, with the K-Brand Maxima 3-till. Fertilizer spreaders, the Amazon ZATS 3200. Manure spreaders with the Branther TA12050 Power Spread Plus. Slurry tanks, the FarmTech Super Cease 800. Mowers, we have the K-Brand GMD 4411 and the GMD 3123F. Tedders, we have the K-Brand GF 8712. Windrowers, the K-Brand Merge Max 950. Forage wagons and Pottinger Boss Alpine 251. Balers, K-Brand VB 3190. Wrappers, the K-Brand SW 4014. Animals, we have the Anderson Pro Chop 150. That's the straw spreader. You've got the K-Brand RA 142 mixing wagon and the Lizard MKS8 tanker. Under silo compactions, you have the Flegel silage roller. Front loaders, you have a Hauer XB 150 and a Quickie Q3M. And under front loader tools, you have the Albut fork with grapple and bale spike. And that is it. Now let's start making our way around the map. So starting with right over here, we have a repair trigger. Right here, and this is the repair trigger that's associated to the shop according to the description. Over here you have a fuel tank to where you can use it as like a gas station. And now I'm going to go ahead and hop the fence right over here, and I'm going to hop into the truck that's parked right here. Going to come over here. Open up this gate right here. Okay. Now right here, you have the animal dealer. Now you can come to this location or the pens and pastures that are located around the map or any that you install yourself, and you can use this icon to purchase animals directly. And as you can see, if you have multiple pens and pastures, it'll ask you which one you want. Now if you use this icon or the ones at the pens and pastures you have installed in the map, you will notice that you'll get an extra fee. That fee is associated to a delivery fee. So basically what's happening is you're coming here and you're telling the dealer, I want to purchase animals, and you want the animal dealer to deliver them to your pens or pastures. So it gets a little bit expensive. Depending on how many animals you're buying, it adds up pretty quickly. An adult cow will cost $100 per cow. So it adds up pretty quickly if you're buying lots of animals. So to save that money, you can come to this location with an animal trailer. Either leased or owned, doesn't matter. Go over this icon, load into your trailer directly, and then deliver the animals yourself to these same icons around the map. That way you can save that money and be good to go. Now, tucked around the back over here, we have the pig feed buying station right here. And then up front, we have the Salario sell point. Now, a lot of these are in Portuguese. Actually, all these sell points are in Portuguese. So I'm going to not only say the name that is listed for the location, but I'm also going to give the English translation. So Salario, according to Google Translate, is saddler. So this is the saddler sell point. Now let's go ahead and hop back in the truck. Head down this driveway. And then right here across the street, we have the shop trigger. Right here. Now heading just down the road, to right here. Pull this in right here. Now this is considered the second farm, the secondary farm. So you can see here you got a whole bunch of product that's kind of scrolled away here. We got some pig food, we got some seeds, fertilizer, we got our planter, a tractor, and all this. Right here we have a horse barn, or horse pasture, I should say. Now, as you can see, there's no icon here to load your horses in here. But if we walk over to this kind of part right here, you'll see how there's this little bob right here. It's supposed to be like an electrified wire fence. But you can see this is where you're supposed to be able to grab onto it, this little bit of plastic here. And you can open this up to get to all the various bits. But if I back up just a bit, you'll see on the top left-hand corner, open animal dialogue. Well, horse pasture will allow us to put 2 horses in here. We have water right here. We have feed just tucked away in here. And I believe this is straw input. So I believe you can actually, I believe you can use this to get manure out of. Let's see. Maybe not. So I don't know what that the additional marker is. Anyways, fuel tank right here. Let's go follow the road back here. Cow barn right here. We've got our feed and straw blowing point right here. Manure pit. Our animal input, and you can fit 200 cows. You have 10 already, and slurry point right there. Bunker silo right here. Another cow barn right here. We've got food, water, milk point, slurry point, animal input, and we have 20 out of 400 cows in this particular pasture. Another bunker silo just tucked away right back there. Some more storage in the barn right over there. And Around the back side over here, we have actually a very nice pig barn. This is really cool. So I'll show you some little things I just discovered. So 20 pigs out of 400. You have light switches, your slurry point right there. You have this curtain right here, which I thought was really cool. And over here you have this little, what looks to be like a painting roller. You can press the B button or the circle for PlayStation to change it to different colors. Your feed goes here. You can open the doors and see your pigs kind of roaming around. You got another light switch in here. You got another door here. Light switch. And over here, open curtain sides. So if we make our way, can open it up and give the piggies some natural light, which is really nice. So now we'll run back to the truck. And there's a truck. Go ahead and head back out to the road. Oh dear. Now heading just a little bit further down the road. Right there to my right, that is the Mercado sell point. That is the market sell point. Heading down the road, you can see all the little icons that are popping up in the distance. That is the primary part of the farm. And remember earlier how I was talking about there's that little strip, that little field that's bought with the periphery? Well, here it is. This is that little narrow field that goes on for ages. All right. We have a fuel tank right here. A little bit of storage. Chicken barn right here, where we have 11 out of 360 chickens. Silo here. Repair trigger here. A power washing station, which I thought was really cool and didn't realize what this was until I walked up and saw this. Turn on pressure washer. As you can see, very cool. And then tucked around over here, this is your main farmhouse. Walk in. And in this room, we have a wardrobe trigger here and a sleep trigger here. Now we'll hop back in the truck and continue to make our way around. Now coming up to the right here, we have this kind of like an additional storage area. You see just some covered awnings, a fuel tank right there, and then over here, behind this gate, here we have the RMZEM 1, which is storage. The storage cell point. Another viable area for additional storage for equipment. And then coming up here, going to want to make a left. We are going to want to be careful here because it gets a little bit bumpy. And then tucked away in here is the Armazem 2, the Storage 2 cell point. Now we'll head back through. And then coming up here, we're going to want to make a left. Right here. We follow this down until we get to the river. We do want to be careful because, again, we could launch ourselves right into the river. Make a left here. We're going to follow this little road around. And then down here, tucked away down in here, right there, we have the Padria cell point, which is the quarry cell point. And then over here, we have the Calcario buy point, which is the limestone buy point. Now heading up back out of here, we need to follow the road again until we get back across the river. Now that we're back across the river, we need to follow this road beside this field. Continuing to follow this road. And again, straight ahead of me, we have another area that you can purchase for additional storage for equipment and whatnot. And then start to see all this fencing come into view. And now if we follow this gate around, follow this down here. Right here, we have the Vinhaka, which is the Venasi cell point, or buy point, sorry. Basically, if I understand this right, this is like a slurry buy point. Over here, to my left, whoops, let's see, that symbol right there, that is the Usina Sumidouro. That is the Sumidouro plant cell point. And then directly in front of me, last but certainly not least, this is the Torta del Filtro, the filter cake buy point. And that is it. That is the Sumidouro Farm. Now it is time to render my opinion, let you know what I think. 0 to 5 scale as per usual. This one, I kind of like this one, to be really honest with you. There's a lot of uniqueness about this map that I didn't think that I would really much care for when I kind of first saw the PDA. I just thought like, oh wow, it's going to be, you know, really ridiculously large fields and whatnot. There wasn't really going to be too much to really kind of keep my attention, but I was really mistaken. Yes, fields are absolutely massive. There are tons of mods that are required for this map, which I don't necessarily care for, but the terrain is really nice. It's not really flat. There's a lot of gentle undulations when you are kind of within the working areas, but then once you get towards the river, it's a steep decline towards the river. You've got this nice little roadway right here throughout the middle of the map that kind of takes you to all the major kind of thoroughfares, but you also get these little side roads that kind of lead to different places as well, which is really nice. So you're not dependent on taking this road here. You can take some of these side roads, dirt roads. And again, even though you've got these massive fields, it's not really that bothersome because you can tell the terrain just kind of drops off and just dips down behind things. So it really helps to break up that kind of monotony, that sight line that you get with maybe a flat map and having big fields. You see out into the distance forever, which you can see in certain areas, but you can also see here how the terrain is kind of hiding some of that. So it just kind of leaves you a little bit of it's nice. It just leaves you with kind of that sense of, yeah, this is a massive field, it's going to be a huge undertaking, but it's at least got something nice to look at, kind of thing. And then you got the kind of outer periphery photo that you get on this map, and it actually looks really sharp. It works very well for this map. So it just kind of makes it out to look like the map just continues on for a very long time. Even though you can see very, very far into the distance, it just looks like it just keeps going, and that is really nice. A lot of maps do a very poor job at making it look like there's some depth beyond the playing surface, but this one here, I really feel like this one does a good job in giving you that kind of, you know, that great distance that a lot of other maps really don't do. And the way that most maps will kind of try and hide that depth of feel is by using these huge mountain ranges and whatnot. This one doesn't do it. This is one of the few maps where it doesn't use these large mountains and peaks and whatnot to hide that you're kind of in this little bubble. This one just uses these gentle rolling hills in the background, and it just looks very nice and very natural for the terrain. What else? I mean, you've got a really nice kind of starting fleet of vehicles, but not too nice, especially considering how massive your operations are going to have to be in order to get into some of these bigger areas. Like this field here is $2 million. It is massive, and you're going to need some big equipment. Now you can see this one is actually filled with the sugar beets, so this is going to be a massive, massive undertaking here. You've got some of these fields down south where it's $1 million, another $1 million field, a little over $500,000 field, and this one's a grass field, I think. No, that's not grass. That's alfalfa, is what this is here. So it's just one of those where you're gonna have a lot of, you know, a lot of swing from where you start. So what I mean by that is you start out with kind of good starter equipment. You know, you've got some grass care equipment, you've got things to do some very general upkeep for a farm. You don't have a harvester at all, but you also have small tractors, and eventually you get to go through the adventure of starting out small with your small farm here, and then growing and growing and growing until finally and eventually you get the big massive equipment, maybe even multiple sets of that massive equipment, and just go to town. And it's awesome. That's why they have these areas like here where you can purchase and have additional storage. You've got this one here, also additional storage. But then you can also do like this area here, which is a smaller space for additional storage. You're expected to be able to outgrow these two kind of farm areas and really kind of take over the map. And I really kind of like that as like a kind of a premise. It really gives you somewhere to lead up to, kind of thing, to where some farms in some maps you'll start out with the small equipment, but you really have no room to continue on besides buying multiples of the same equipment. Other than that, you've really kind of set off very well and you don't have to grow. So yeah, no, this, I think they did a really good job. The color palette is really nice. Things kind of pop on this map, with the kind of greens, and I think a lot of that has to do with the kind of colors of the ground texture. So you get the kind of red dirts that you would get kind of in a lot of the southern maps, and with these kind of greens contrasted against these reds, these greens really tend to pop. You also get a lot of this. These are poplar bushes that are just kind of planted all around the map. So you could theoretically, after buying the land, you could harvest a lot of these poplar trees. If we go down here to poplars, you'll see all these kind of areas here just kind of boop, disappear. So you can see just how much is actually here. Now, it's not going to be, massive amounts. You're not going to get hundreds upon hundreds of bales and do stuff with it, but you will be able to do something with it. And, you don't have to. You can just leave it here and be good to go, kind of thing. But, like I said, when considering the amount of mods that are required for this map, when considering, that I do like this map, I would have to give this map probably about a 3.5, somewhere above average. I like the map, but the amount of mods that are simply required for this map is a bit much for my taste. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 separate mods on the required mods list for this map. That's too much for me. But, some people are not going to care about that. They're going to be able to be, okay, that's fine, let's rock and roll. And like I said, it's a really nice map. It's got some really nice and pretty views. So when everything's said and done, the map itself, I'd probably give a 4, 4.5. But because of the required mods, that's going to take it down a notch for me. So like I said, at the end of the day, 3.5 is where I'm going to land. But other than that, yeah, that is the tour. I hope you enjoyed this map tour. If you did, please show me by liking, sharing, subscribing, following, commenting, doing all the things the algorithms enjoy you doing that shows you're engaged with this channel and enjoying the content. And that being said, I hope you have a fantastic day. Take care.